If you're planning to study in the US and need a loan, one big question you will face is, should you take a loan in INR from an Indian bank or a US dollar loan from a US lender? Or not even from a US lender, but any other lender which offers USD loan. I've been through this decision myself, and trust me, there are pros and cons to both.
Getting a loan is really confusing, and I understand that, and that's why you're watching this video as well. If you're somebody who needs help, I've left a form, just fill it out. Somebody will reach out to you within 24 to 48 hours and help you get quotes from 6 to 8 banks. Just fill out the form and let's go from there. Let's continue watching the video.
So let's break it down in a way that actually makes sense for you. First up, INR loans. These are the ones you get from Indian banks like SBI, HDFC Credila, or Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda, some of the NBFCs. INR loans might be a great idea, and there's a big plus there. There's lower interest rates compared to the USD loans. Public banks in India offer rates around 9 to 12%, which is way better than some of the private lenders. Another huge perk with INR loan is the tax benefits under Section 80E. What this means is once you start repaying your education loan, the interest you pay is fully deductible from your taxable income. But remember, this taxable income is in India, so if it's an Indian loan, that's where it is applicable. This means you could save a good chunk of money on your taxes up to like 4 or 5 years when you're paying that loan. Most Indian banks give you a moratorium period, so you don't have to start repaying immediately while studying. It's similar to US dollar loan. It can be a lifesaver, but sometimes you do want to pay like right away if you're having any assistantship positions. But here's something people do not consider. There's a INR depreciation actually works in your favor if you earn in US dollar later. Since the INR keeps falling against the dollar, your future salary in US dollar will make INR loan repayment much easier. And I'm going to talk about all of this on like how much money you will be saving. But of course, with INR loans, there are some drawbacks also. First of all, your tuition and expenses are in US dollars, so you'll need to convert every time from INR to US dollars. The rupees depreciates more, you'll need to pay even more in INR to cover the same cost. There are Indian banks which will give you loans up to 1 crore, but there are Indian banks which will cap the loan amount for 40 to 50 lakhs. It might not be enough for your entire education, but there is an option. INR loans also takes time because Indian banks require a ton of paperwork. They require collateral, parental signatures, co-signer. It might not be ideal for everyone because I've had students who are frustrated because their parents are not supporting them even though they want to take a loan themselves. Let's talk about the US dollar loan here. These are offered by lenders like Empower, Prodigy, Discover, SoFi, multiple partners like that. US dollar loans might be a better option because there's no collateral needed. There is no co-signer required. For example, Prodigy is a prime example of that, where they don't need a collateral or co-signer. It makes life so much easier, especially if you don't want to involve your family into your finances. Or if your family is not supporting you, of course, it makes it easy as well. It covers 100% of your tuition plus living expenses, so you don't have to worry about funding gaps. This is a problem with INR loans. For example, when I was taking an INR loan, there was something called margin money, which my parents or I have to pay. For example, if I'm taking a loan of 50 lakhs, let's say 10%, so 5 lakhs, I'll have to put in my own money. And not everybody has those kind of money, which becomes a problem. One great thing about US dollar loans, which is not about INR, is processing is way quicker. For example, Prodigy, you can get a loan letter really quickly. Since you'll be earning in US dollars after graduation, it makes more sense to repay in US dollars, not worrying about rupee depreciation. But it kind of works against you because the rupee has been depreciating for years now. So if you're taking INR loan, it actually benefits you a little bit more, and we'll talk about it. There's a major hack which not a lot of people talk about. You can refinance a US dollar loan later, which is not possible in INR loan. For example, companies like SoFi, Earnest, or Laurel Load, they will help you refinance it. So if you have a stable job, a good credit score, you can cut your interest rate significantly. And that can actually benefit you taking a US dollar loan, because sometimes US dollar interest rate, like US interest rates, is significantly lower than Indian interest rate. And taking a US dollar loan also builds your US credit score. So that will eventually benefit you with credit cards. If you're planning to buy a house or renting an apartment, you won't need deposits. Or if you're buying a house, you will be paying lesser money as down payment. Now, of course, as I mentioned, there's always pros and cons. So the downsides of US dollar loan is typically higher interest rates, 10 to 15%, depending on your profile. There's also no tax benefits in India. Like for INR loans, you have some tax benefits. Some loans have floating interest rates, which makes it a nightmare, meaning your payments could increase over time. If the United States increase their interest rates, your interest rates will also increase. And some lenders require small payments while studying. Unlike Indian banks, they'll let you wait until after graduation. Question comes, which one you should go for? Let's do the math, right? First, few things, right? If your family can provide collateral and you're planning to return to India, a INR loan might be cheaper. If you're planning to stay in the US and work in the US dollar loan makes more sense since you will be earning in dollars and won't have to deal with the exchange rate issues. Another thing is that if you're taking an INR loan, since INR depreciates over time, you will be paying less. Let me show you the maths of it, and let's go to the screen and let me show you all of that math. Let's go through this quick presentation where we have student A and where we have student B. Both the students, let's say, started in 2018. We're backdating this. So we started in 2018. They both are planning to go to the US. They both took a 80,000 loan. In first semester, they are taking out 20K. In second semester, they are taking out 20K. In third, 20K. Fourth, 20K. Student A takes out a loan from HDFC, SBI, and it's an INR loan. Student B goes to Prodigy or Advanced Financial Services and takes a US dollar loan. 80,000 in 2018 was equal to 49,60,000. Both have 11% interest rate, which is actually not going to happen because interest rates are going to differ a little bit. Both have a 2.5 years grace period, which is called the moratorium period, where they don't have to pay the loan back. The loan will be paid within 4 years after grace period. We're doing similar conditions. It will be paid within 4 years of after education. So let's go there. This is a chart which shows approximately what was the INR per US dollar versus the year. For example, in 2018, the INR for $1 you were getting 68 rupees, and in 2024 for 1 Indian rupees you're getting 80, or for US dollars you're getting 83 Indian rupees. Simple. So when we do the maths, right, the Indian rupees loan is in January 2018 they took out a $20,000. That is equals to 13,60,000. Then 14 lakh Indian rupees, then 1480 Indian rupees, 14,90,000 Indian rupees. That's for every month. Each disbursement is accruing a monthly interest of 0.917%, roughly around 10%, from its disbursement date until July 2021, since we started taking a loan in fall or January of 2018. In July 2021, the whole value of the loan was 50,000 because you accrued interest. Over the next 4 years, you will be making payments of INR 1.8 lakhs every month. Over time, over the 4 years, so we started in 2018, then our loan was in 2021, in July of 2021, 2.5 years of moratorium period, our loan was up to 7150. Over the next 4 years, we paid 1,80,000. The total Indian rupees we paid is 88,60,000, which is approximately $108,000 over the period of loan. Now let's look at the US dollar loan. So the US dollar loan, January 2018, it grows to 29,000. So the $20,000 grows to 29,000 because we are accommodating for the interest as well. And at any point of time, if you want to look at the math, I'm going to leave all of that document in the description. You can check the math and cross check me if I'm doing it wrong. In Jan 2018 or Jan 2019, the chunk was 26,300. Jan 2020 chunk was 23,560. Jan 2021 chunk was 21,120. Total by July of 2021, the loan was $100,320. The principal amount was $103.20, monthly interest, and then over time you have to do the repayment. So the EMI came down to $2,585 per month. So $2,585 per month, and the total USD repayment you did was 124,000 US dollars. Now, as you can see, the comparison here, the INR loan you paid with interest from the principal amount, $108,500, whereas a US dollar loan you paid $124,000. This is when you're accounting for like same interest rate, you're accounting for same moratorium period, you are paying 15,500 more when you're taking a US dollar loan. This is happening simply because INR depreciates a lot. No other reason but Indian rupees depreciating significantly over the last 6 to 7 years. If the INR keeps depreciating, INR loan would be way better. But sometimes you don't have the choice. As I mentioned before in the video, you don't have the choice to get a INR loan. You have to take a US dollar loan because you might not have a cosigner, you might not have the means and methods of doing an INR loan. You have to give a lot of documents when you're taking a collateral loan from Indian banks. Especially when Indian banks are giving out collateral-based loans, there is more paperwork than anything else. So if you're taking a US dollar loan, there's less paperwork, you don't need a cosigner, but you would be paying that extra premium. This is accounting for if you're paying back in 4 years. Let's say you get an amazing job over 140,000. Like a friend of mine, J. Raj, who works at Nvidia, he paid off around 80, 90, I don't know, like 100,000 plus dollars within 1 year or 14 months of his study. There is a podcast which I made with him. I'm going to leave that link in description. You can check it out. But this really shows what is the real difference here when you're taking a US dollar versus INR loan. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked and it was an informational video for you. Thank you so much guys for watching this one. I hope you found this useful, and until then I'll see you in the next one. Take care everyone.